Welcome to Senior Wisdom Exchange, the channel where I share simple, science-based, and inspiring tips to help you stay healthy, full of energy, and confident even after 60. Here, we learn together how to care for the body, nurture the mind, and enjoy aging in a stronger, more meaningful way every single day. My friend, let me ask you something. Among all the seafood in the world, which one do you think is the most affordable, easy to find, and still packed with the nutrients our heart, brain, and bones desperately need? Many people might say salmon, tuna, or some expensive fish from the deep ocean. But the truth is surprising. The answer lies in a tiny can sitting quietly on supermarket shelves: sardines. These little fish may not look like much, yet inside they hold a treasure chest of nutrition. Omega-3s to keep your heart beating strong and your mind sharp. Calcium and vitamin D to strengthen your bones so you can rise from a chair with confidence and walk steadily, even in your 70s. And with their low price and convenience, sardines might just be one of the most accessible superfoods you can buy. But here's the part that troubles me. Most people eat sardines the wrong way. I've met so many patients and even friends who buy sardines thinking they're making a healthy choice, yet their habits while preparing or eating them silently erase the very benefits sardines are meant to provide. Some overcook them until all the omega-3s are lost. Others throw away the soft bones, not realizing they're nature's richest source of calcium. And some drain away every drop of oil, thinking it's grease, when in fact that liquid carries much of the vitamin D and omega-3s. I remember one patient from Ohio, 67 years old. For years, he proudly ate a can of sardines for breakfast every morning. But he had one habit: rinsing the fish under running water to wash off the smell. The result? Over time, his bones weakened so much that a minor slip in the garden led to a wrist fracture. When we reviewed his diet, we discovered that his well-intentioned routine had washed away much of the precious calcium and vitamins. He sighed and told me, "Doctor, I never realized I was eating the right food the wrong way." That story stayed with me. Because eating isn't just about putting food into our stomach, it's about how we care for our bodies. Maybe you've done the same, assuming that simply choosing a healthy food is enough, while forgetting that how you eat it makes all the difference. And sometimes those tiny mistakes create the biggest setbacks, especially after 60 or 70, when every nutrient becomes more valuable than ever. So in today's video, I want to walk with you through the most common mistakes people make with sardines, mistakes I've seen repeated countless times. We'll start with the small slip-ups that simply make your meal less tasty, then move toward the serious ones that strip away nearly all the nutrition or even pose risks to your health. By the end, I believe you'll never look at a can of sardines the same way again. Just imagine this. One little can of sardines a day, eaten the right way, could keep your heart healthier, your memory sharper, and your bones stronger. And the best part? It's affordable, it's convenient, and it doesn't require fancy recipes. All it takes is a bit of knowledge, a few small changes, and you turn an ordinary meal into nature's medicine for an energetic old age. So if you've ever overlooked sardines or thought of them as a poor man's food, stay with me until the end of this video. I promise, by then you'll see sardines not as just another can on the shelf, but as one of your greatest allies for health after 60. And before we dive in, I'd love to ask you, do you eat sardines often? Do you have a favorite way of preparing them? Share your answer in the comments. Your experience might just inspire someone else in our community. Now, let's begin our journey to uncover the mistakes and secrets that will help you unlock the full power of this humble superfood. Mistake 1. Thinking all sardines are the same. A lot of people assume sardines are just sardines. Every can is the same. But the truth is, they're not. Think about coffee. Beans from Brazil taste completely different from beans in Ethiopia. And a cup from a gas station isn't the same as one from a specialty roaster. Sardines are like that too. Their origin makes a big difference in flavor, fat content, and nutrition. Sardines from colder waters, like Norway or Portugal, are firmer, lighter in taste. Sardines from warmer waters are richer, oilier, and often have more omega-3s. Even the season matters. Early in the season, they're leaner. Later in the season, they're fatter and more nutrient-dense. I once met a man in Texas, 62 years old. The first sardines he ever tried were a cheap variety packed in water. He immediately decided, "This is awful. I'll never eat these again." But years later, he tried a premium sardine in olive oil and laughed, saying, "I wasted decades avoiding this food because of one bad first experience." That story proves one thing: sardines are not all the same. If you haven't found one you like, maybe you just haven't met the right friend yet. Try a few different types. You might be surprised how enjoyable they really are. Mistake 2. Only eating straight from the can. Yes, sardines are convenient. Pop the lid and they're ready to eat. But if you only eat them plain, not only will you get bored, you'll also miss out on a lot of their nutritional power. I often tell my patients, sardines are like bricks. To build a house, you need more than just one kind of brick. Omega-3s in sardines are fat-soluble, which means your body absorbs them best when paired with other healthy fats like olive oil or avocado. The calcium in sardine bones works even better with vitamin K from leafy greens to actually strengthen your own bones. Eating sardines alone means you're missing these natural combinations. I remember a 65-year-old woman from Florida who had eaten sardines the same way for 5 years, straight from the can with crackers. She complained, "I don't feel any healthier." I suggested mixing them into a green salad, adding lemon and olive oil. A week later, she called me, "I can't believe such small changes made my meals taste better and my body feel lighter." That shows the problem often isn't the food, it's how we use it. Sardines shine brightest when paired with veggies, whole grains, and other healthy fats. Mistake 3. Pairing them with the wrong flavors. Sardines have a bold, oily flavor, like a deep bass instrument in an orchestra. When paired right, they're harmonious and delicious, but paired wrong, they can taste overwhelming. A friend of mine in his 70s once tried sardines with a heavy cheese sauce. The result? He grimaced through the meal, felt bloated, and decided sardines weren't for him. But the real issue wasn't the fish, it was the pairing. On the other hand, a patient of mine in California enjoyed them on a slice of whole grain bread with lemon juice and parsley. Every time, he said he felt light, satisfied, and surprised by how tasty it was. Science agrees. Acidity from lemon or tomatoes balances the oil and even boosts iron absorption. Fresh herbs add antioxidants. Pickled foods like olives or capers help with digestion. So, sardines aren't hard to enjoy. It's all about the company you keep them with. Treat them like an instrument that needs the right orchestra, and you'll have a symphony on your plate. Mistake 4. Avoiding them because they're fishy. Probably the biggest reason people avoid sardines is they're too fishy. But the truth is, good sardines don't have to be fishy at all. That unpleasant taste usually comes from poor quality or bad storage, or simply from not knowing how to prepare them. Think about biting into a green, unripe tomato. Sour, unpleasant, right? But a ripe, juicy one tastes amazing. Sardines are the same. High-quality ones packed in olive oil, brightened with lemon and herbs, can taste fresh and clean. A retired man in Arizona once told me, "I avoided sardines for 20 years because I thought they were fishy. Then my daughter made me a sardine salad with cucumber and dill. I couldn't believe it. I actually enjoyed it." Since then, he's added sardines to his weekly meals. And here's the thing. Our taste buds can adapt. That fishiness you once disliked may start to taste like the natural saltiness of the ocean, the taste of real nutrition. With a little patience and the right preparation, sardines can go from something you dread to something you look forward to. Mistake 5. Washing sardines under the tap. I know many of us have the habit of rinsing sardines before eating them. The logic sounds reasonable. Wash off the salt, wash away the fishy smell. But have you ever thought that by rinsing, you're also washing away the most valuable nutrients? The oil or sauce in a can of sardines isn't just liquid to discard. It's where omega-3s, vitamin D, vitamin E, and important minerals are preserved during storage. Rinsing them away means you're literally pouring out part of the nutrition your body needs. I once had a patient in New Jersey, 64 years old, with mild osteoporosis. She told me, "I eat sardines all the time, but my doctor still says my calcium is low." After looking into her habits, I found out she rinsed every sardine under the faucet because she was afraid of salt. As a result, the calcium and fat-soluble vitamins were all going down the drain. And here's the thing, washing doesn't even help much. The salt is already inside the fish, so no matter how long you rinse, the sodium stays. The fishy taste, that's in the nature of the fish, not just the surface oil. In other words, you're solving nothing and losing the good stuff. Instead, pick a low-sodium option from the start. And don't throw away the oil or sauce. It can be drizzled over salad, roasted veggies, or even used in soups. Your body will thank you for it. Mistake 6. Choosing water-packed instead of oil-packed. At the supermarket, many people grab sardines packed in water because they think lighter, less fat, fewer calories, must be healthier. But honestly, that's one of the least smart choices. Omega-3s, the most important nutrient in sardines, are fat-soluble. Without oil to protect them, they oxidize quickly and lose their power. Water doesn't preserve them, and it doesn't help your body absorb them either. I've met plenty of people who bought the water-packed kind and then complained, "They're dry, bland, not tasty at all." And worse, they were missing the very benefits they were hoping for. On the other hand, sardines packed in olive oil stay moist, flavorful, and the olive oil acts like a boat carrying omega-3s straight into your body. A gentleman in California once told me, "Just by switching to the olive oil variety, the taste improved, my skin looked brighter, and I even slept better." That's the difference when you eat the right way. Yes, oil-packed sardines have more calories, but those are good calories, coming from healthy fats. And for older adults, keeping your heart strong, your brain sharp, and your bones sturdy matters far more than counting every calorie. Mistake 7. Leaving an open can for too long. Have you ever opened a can of sardines, eaten half, then stuck the rest in the fridge thinking, "I'll finish it tomorrow"? This is actually one of the quiet but dangerous mistakes people make. The moment a can is opened, oxygen gets in, and omega-3s, the precious oils that protect your heart and memory, start oxidizing. With water-packed sardines, nutrients are almost gone within a day. In oil, they last 2 to 3 days. In tomato or mustard sauce, maybe 3 to 4 days. But after a week, no matter the type, they're no longer safe to eat. I recall a 70-year-old man in Michigan who used to leave half-open cans in the fridge for convenience. One time, he ended up with severe digestive issues and had to be hospitalized. The doctors confirmed the cause, sardines that had sat too long after opening. That experience reinforced for me that canned sardines are not immortal. If you need to save leftovers, transfer them immediately into a clean glass container with a tight lid. And ideally, only open a can when you're sure you'll finish it within a few days. Remember, sardines are only as healthy as they are fresh and safe. Keep them too long, and you lose nutrients while risking your health. Mistake 8. Ignoring expiration dates and storing them wrong. Many people assume canned sardines last forever, nothing to worry about. But that's a dangerous misconception. Yes, sardines are more stable than fresh fish, but that doesn't make them immortal. Sunlight, heat from the stove, or even kitchen humidity can quietly damage their quality. Over time, valuable omega-3s oxidize, vitamins D and B12 degrade, and if the can shows bulging, rust, or dents, dangerous bacteria like botulism can grow inside. I once knew an elderly man in Florida who kept an entire case of sardines right by the kitchen window for easy access. One day, he opened a can with a strange smell, but he didn't want to waste it, so he ate it anyway. The result? A full week in the hospital with food poisoning. That story reminds me to always warn patients, even canned food has limits. Never take it lightly. If you want to stock up, store them in a cool, dry place away from direct sunlight. And follow the rotation rule. Use the older cans first, newer ones later. A little caution can protect both your health and your life. Mistake 9. Throwing away the bones. When eating fish, most of us remove the bones out of habit, but sardines are a special case. Thanks to high-pressure cooking during canning, their bones soften, and those bones are packed with calcium and vitamin D. I had a 68-year-old patient in New Jersey who often complained about weak, aching bones, even though she ate sardines every week. When I asked more, she admitted she always scraped out the bones, afraid they were hard or dangerous to swallow. But that very habit meant she was throwing away one of the richest natural sources of calcium. A small can of sardines, eaten with the bones, can give you more than 30% of your daily calcium needs, more than a serving of milk or cheese. For those over 50, when bones naturally thin with age, that calcium is like armor for your skeleton. So don't waste it. Treat those tiny sardine bones as natural supplements. They're soft, easy to eat, and your body will thank you. Mistake 10. Overcooking sardines. Another common mistake is cooking sardines again to make them safer or add more flavor. But here's what most people don't realize. Canned sardines are already fully cooked under high pressure. They're safe to eat straight from the can, no extra cooking needed. When you boil them for a long time in soup or fry them until they fall apart, you're not just losing texture, you're also destroying the most delicate nutrients. Omega-3s, highly sensitive to heat, break down quickly. B vitamins, essential for memory and nerve health, also vanish under prolonged heat. I remember a 72-year-old man in Ohio who always boiled sardines in his soups until they completely dissolved. He believed that was the only safe way. Yet, despite eating them regularly, he still felt tired and his memory was fading. When I suggested he add sardines at the end of cooking or just warm them gently, his condition improved noticeably. The secret is simple. Warm them for just 1 to 2 minutes or stir them in after you've turned off the heat. That way, you get the flavor without losing what your body truly needs. Mistake 11. Pouring out the oil, the most costly mistake. This is probably the most common and the most heartbreaking mistake I see patients make. People open a can, see the golden oil, and immediately dump it down the sink, assuming it's bad fat. In reality, they're pouring out liquid gold. During storage, omega-3s, vitamin D, vitamin E, and key minerals all seep into that oil. So if you discard it, you're throwing away the most concentrated nutrition in the can. I once had a 70-year-old patient in Arizona who ate sardines almost daily, but kept saying, "I don't feel any healthier." Turns out, she always drained the oil. When she started using it, mixing it into salads or drizzling it over vegetables, her health checkups improved within months. Her heart was steadier and her vitamin D levels went up. Science backs this up. Just a few spoonfuls of sardine oil can deliver hundreds of milligrams of omega-3s. It's not waste. It's valuable fuel for reducing inflammation, protecting memory, and keeping bones strong. So next time you open a can of sardines, Pause. Don't rush to pour out the oil. See it as a bonus gift, the very thing that makes a humble can of sardines a true superfood. Who should be careful with sardines? Sardines really are a superfood, but like any food, they're not for everyone to eat freely without a second thought. I remember a 72-year-old woman from New York who once called me, "Doctor, I heard sardines are good for the heart, so I eat them every day. But lately, my blood pressure has gone up." After looking closely, I realized the cause. Most canned sardines are packed in salty brine or oil with high sodium. For people sensitive to salt or those already dealing with high blood pressure, that extra sodium can send their numbers climbing. In cases like this, low-sodium options or pairing sardines with plenty of fresh vegetables, lemon, and herbs to balance things out is a much safer approach. Another group to be cautious, people with gout or high uric acid levels. Sardines are rich in purines, which the body converts into uric acid. For healthy individuals, that's not an issue. But if you've ever endured a gout flare in your big toe or knee, you know how painful it is. For these people, sardines can still be enjoyed, but limited to just 1 or 2 times a week. Those with a history of uric acid kidney stones should also take note. And while sardines are generally low in mercury, pregnant women should still be mindful of sodium and calorie intake. The most important thing is to listen to your body, and when in doubt, check with your doctor. Sardines can be a wonderful ally, but only when you use them wisely. Summary of the body, the rising drama. Do you notice how this journey has unfolded? At first, the mistake sounded harmless, just eating sardines too plainly, pairing them poorly, or thinking all kinds are the same. Those slip-ups made meals less tasty and nutrients less effective, but they weren't immediately dangerous. Then, as we went deeper, the risks grew heavier. Rinsing sardines under the tap, choosing the water-packed version, or leaving an opened can too long. These errors quietly drained away most of the benefits you thought you were getting. You believed you were nourishing your body, but in reality, many of the most precious nutrients were slipping through your fingers. And finally, we reached the truly serious mistakes: ignoring expiration dates, discarding the bones, overcooking, or worst of all, pouring away the oil, that liquid treasure holding omega-3s and vitamin D. These don't just rob you of nutrition, they can put your health at risk, from bone loss and memory decline to food poisoning. Layer by layer, the truth has been revealed. Eating sardines isn't difficult, but eating them the wrong way can turn a superfood into a burden. Once you see this clearly, you realize something powerful. With just a few small changes in habit, sardines can become a loyal companion, protecting your heartbeat, supporting every step you take, and keeping your memories alive. My dear friend, by now you can clearly see this. Sardines may look small and humble, but the power they bring is far greater than their modest appearance. What truly matters isn't just whether you eat sardines, but how you eat them. Because if you eat them the wrong way, washing them under the tap, tossing out the bones, draining the oil, or overcooking them, all those precious nutrients are lost, leaving only a faint shadow of what they could have been. But if you keep the oil, eat the soft bones, choose the olive oil-packed kind, and store them properly, then every can of sardines becomes more than just a simple meal. It becomes a natural medicine, steadying your heartbeat, sharpening your mind, strengthening your legs, and protecting your bones. It's a gift from the sea, cheap, easy to find, yet priceless for your health. Picture this. One morning, you open a can of sardines, squeeze a little lemon on top, add a few fresh herbs, and place it on a slice of whole grain bread. Simple, isn't it? Yet in that moment, you're giving your body omega-3s to fight inflammation, vitamin D to keep your bones strong, calcium to guard against osteoporosis, and steady energy to start your day. That breakfast is no longer ordinary. It's an investment in graceful aging, in steady steps, in memories that don't fade away. Over more than 2 decades working with older adults, I've seen countless stories. I've met men and women in their 70s and 80s who still hike mountains, play tennis, even dance. When I ask for their secret, they smile and say, "We don't really have one. We just eat smart every day." And again, one food shows up in their stories: sardines. Not because they're fancy, but because they're effective and reliable.
That taught me something important. Health doesn't come from luxury or rare things. It comes from how we honor the simple choices. A small can of sardines, eaten the right way, can be the little key that unlocks independence, strength, and dignity in old age. So the next time you're at the supermarket, standing in front of the canned fish aisle, remember what we've shared today. Choose the quality olive oil-packed sardines. Don't fear that golden oil. Don't throw away the soft bones. Store them with care. Because in doing so, you're not just buying a meal, you're buying a piece of your future health. And before we close, let me gently invite you. If this video gave you new knowledge or a fresh perspective, please hit the like button so I know it was helpful to you. Share it with a friend or loved one so they too can enjoy the benefits of this superfood. And if you'd like to keep walking this journey with me, learning simple, science-backed ways to care for your health after 60, don't forget to subscribe. Each week, we'll sit down together like friends and share small but meaningful tips for a healthier, happier life. Because sometimes the simplest choices create the biggest differences. One can of sardines, one mindful habit, one small decision today may become the turning point for a longer, stronger, and more vibrant life tomorrow. And I truly hope you'll give yourself the chance to experience that.